Hello, it's Tom Hobden here calling from Dance Digital Participation episode 6. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. The whole journey from beginning to end. Like, we're here. I should say this is the end, but I'm not doing this as the end. I've already got another 2 or 3 of these lined up and some other ideas that I'd like to put out on YouTube, and I'd love to hear your feedback on all of that. Thank you for all subscribing, thank you for liking, thank you for commenting, and if you've been liking and commenting and writing to me, then thank you for all of those people. If I am sadly mistaken, this is just my mum liking and subscribing, well, thank you, Mum, and I love you very much. Anyway, here we go. Episode 6. Episode 6 is Lucy Lloyd of Rubicon Dance. At the end of all of my talks, Rubicon got in touch with me and said, please can you come and do this for the wonderful Wales artists, and I said, more than happy. In doing it, I got to meet the real great and the good, some fantastic artists and some really great community practice going on out there. And one of those artists, as I've said, is Lucy Lloyd. Lucy, self-confessed non-techie, just like Alyssa in number 5. I think it's really useful to hear these stories because if you're there like going, I don't do this, this is not part of me, then you're going to get a bit of a sense of an idea of how to get into it and how scary it was for her. But you can hear me talking way too much. So I think we should just jump straight in. All right, so hi, it's Tom Hobden here with Dance Digital and Participation, and we are talking to the brilliant Lucy Lloyd, who works for Rubicon Dance, amongst other people. But Lucy, I just wondered, could you tell us a little bit about who you are, like what you're doing?
Yeah, so hello, I'm Lucy, and I work for Rubicon Dance. We're based in South Wales, in Cardiff, and we work across the community in lots and lots of different areas. I'm a dance leader and I teach in, my main thing is schools really, so I teach in lots of schools and on our youth programme in the centre we've got, and then I also teach GCSE dance, so I teach a mix, all ages really, and a little bit of ballet thrown in there as well, so I do a mix of everything. And then with Rubicon, we teach lots and lots of different areas within the community.
So I should probably say actually in this interview that I delivered a bit of work for Rubicon with the talk and everything, and I thought it'd be really brilliant to kind of get the Wales perspective on things. And so in terms of all of this digital dance and a Wales perspective, like what have you been doing? What have you been plunged into?
Oh gosh, it was at the beginning we thought, oh, a few weeks and we'll be back to normal, as everybody did, I think. So we kind of stayed calm for a few weeks. We didn't go out and deliver a lot because we've got quite a big team, and I think if there was only 1 or 2 of you, then yes, that's kind of easier to do. Because we've got a big team and we teach a huge range of people, we couldn't do that. So we had lots and lots of planning. The only thing I did straight away was GCSE dance, because that's a course, so we had to keep that running. So myself and my colleague Janet, we carried on through Zoom GCSE dance. So that was quite good for us because it was a kind of a tester with a group we already knew. We had them. It was tricky because they were 14-year-olds and they were hard to engage over Zoom, even though we see them every single week.
And what was like, what is hard? What does that mean? Were they like going off camera or?
They were there, but it was almost like they were like scared
Okay.
on the camera. And I think that was the main thing. And a couple of weeks in, we started off doing the theory, which was okay. We tried to get them to do some practical through Zoom, and it was as if they'd never danced in front of us in their lives.
Okay.
And we were like, come on guys. I think the first thing we asked them to do a gesture, like a wave or something with your arm, and they were all like, and it was like, come on guys, we do this all the time. We think we've got a bed in the studio. And I think this Zoom and this camera makes people think they're in like a different world, which yes we are, but you're almost protected even more, I think. But it's way more obvious when you're on this, and I think
It's just a bit weird, I find. So all the teaching that I've done on Zoom has that feeling of like you're able to do what you want because it's your home and you feel really comfortable, but also the opposite of that, because you're at home and feel comfortable, you feel quite vulnerable because actually, you know, your dance teacher wouldn't normally see all of this stuff that's kind of going on around you.
And it was interesting. I was kind of like, why are they worrying about this? And then only a couple of weeks ago, we did a CPD and I was dancing. I was the participant. I swapped roles. And I was in my living room And I was like, oh my God, this does feel really weird.
Okay.
See me. And I had it from the other side, which actually was a really good thing because
Yeah.
it made me think, oh, this is quite strange to actually do it this way round.
Yeah.
Even though nobody's looking at me, because you're only looking at whoever is delivering on the screen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was so small, nobody's even bothered. But I think, I don't know, it was strange and I can't put my finger on it. I think it's just because we're not used to it. And we're so used to that face-to-face delivery that this is just another world.
Just another world. I mean, it sort of opened up access for me. That's one thing that I found in that those people that have maybe looking at Rubicon and kind of going, well, I'd love to go to a class, but I'm too scared, have now suddenly, found their way to things. And that's what I found definitely in Suffolk. But also just that mixture between some of the things that are like live like this suits some people, and then the pre-recorded stuff, which I know you've had a go at. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so obviously I teach in lots of schools, and the schools were, some were open, some were closed, some were hubs. We didn't know what was going on, so we were asked to do a couple of pre-records so that the schools could then have something to have in the school.
Hmm.
So I was taken on doing that task, which at first I was like, oh yeah, that's fine, I'll film myself in my kitchen, doing this. And I started and I was like, oh wow, this takes a lot of time.
Okay, yeah.
So that was the first. But once I got over that and realised what I needed, the tech, the setup, like we talked about with you in your training day,
Yeah.
so much to think about: the webcam, the space, the lighting, the sound. There's a million things before you even started teaching, and we're
Mm.
so used to going into a room, teaching, and coming from there. All you have to do is press on your music. And I think there's all this added extra layers of things made me go, oh my goodness, what am I doing?
Mm.
But once I got all that, I made myself a real checklist,
Hmm.
and I got that all set. And then it was the delivering part of it. So I started filming, and one of my colleagues said, oh, try and film it all in one go as you would do, in a session. I
Yeah.
tried that. I got about 2 minutes in and I'm going, oh no, I've gone wrong already. What do
Yeah.
I do? And panic. So the best way for me was to film it in sections. And I broke everything down into little sections. I did an introduction,
Okay.
then I filmed a warm up, then I did a task, and then I did a cool down. And I did 4 videos, I think I did, and I did them like that. And once I got into the hang of it, I quite enjoyed it by the end,
Okay.
because it was almost like, I don't want to say performing because that's not what we are. We're teachers and we're leaders, but it was almost like you had to put on a front,
Yeah.
in a way, because you're talking to a camera. I've got quite high energy when I'm teaching, and to get that through camera is hard.
Hmm.
So you've got to up that even more, but without feeling like a character. And
Yes.
I think that's the balance that's hard to get. But I think it's just practice, and as much as you hate watching yourself back, you kind of do have to do that a little bit just to see, oh, that does work actually. I'll carry on like that.
So, I mean, in terms of like being thrown into tech, like how much technology did you have before? And like, where are you now? I mean, what are you thinking?
So I was useless. I could just, put my music on my computer, press play, and I was that. I've got a bit of an idea, and I'm not scared of having a go. I think that's the big thing. But no idea. I've never used a camera in my life.
Okay.
And I've got the old iPhone. I'm not even tech in my phone. So I kind of just had a go and just tried, I think. And I think that's the thing with it, is just to give it a go. And
Hmm.
if it goes wrong, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
And that was my thing. I was being really too critical of myself at the start.
Okay.
And I filmed one of the pre-records I did, and I thought, oh, this is rubbish. And when I sent it to somebody who's a filmmaker who works with us at Rubicon, he said,
Hmm.
that's great. He said, you're working with the best technology that you've got.
Yeah.
You haven't got any more to use, so that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, I've got to accept that. And I think the participants as well accept that too. We know we're not filmmakers, or we're not directors, and we're not
Yeah.
producers. And I think that's a big learning curve that I've learned.
So I'm going to sort of sum this up. Like you've said quite a few already. Any top tips to like a dance teacher or a community leader out there, just like, tentatively sitting on the edge, or, thinking, am I too late to give this a go? Anything like that?
I'd say don't be scared and
Okay.
give it a go. Just try it. And I think you've got to get that the participants, their friends, aren't they? Your family almost, that you teach all the time.
Yeah.
they know you and they know this is the best that you can do. You're not going to try and do something that's no good. You're going to try and do it the best. What else?
Any equipment things? Anything that's really changed your, like, oh, that was really handy to have that?
A microphone has been really handy because the music and microphone has been the biggest issue. So
Okay.
we have clip-on mics
Yep.
that are like Bluetooth to the
Hmm.
laptop. And they were, I know they weren't very expensive, the ones we've got, but they work.
Okay.
And then we've also figured out in the last week, we're still learning new things, even trying it now. We've just figured out that playing music through a separate stereo linked into your laptop and sharing sound, that also makes a massive difference. And that also balances the microphone and the sound of the music. They don't override each other, they kind of plateau.
Fantastic.
So that would be we literally yesterday we spent about 3 hours on Zoom with the girls I work with testing that out, and we all found that was the best way.
Well, I guess this sort of like pulls it together. And just to sort of say, Lucy, are you happy for people to get in touch with you? Because I have a feeling some community artists will want to know exactly how you made that figured that out.
Yeah, and I'm happy to share all the equipment I've got and show you and explain, and yeah, more than happy to do that.
Great. Oh, lovely. Well, thanks very much, Lucy, for the interview. It's really lovely to hear from Wales and from Rubicon everything that's going on. And good luck with it all, and stay in touch.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Lucy is just great fun, right? I mean, super honest, super upfront about everything, but actually some real golden tips in there. And I think it's probably worth pointing out now that across these interviews, the things that seem to come up are, biggest one, have a go. Don't be worried about it. Tech isn't as scary as you think it is. Just give it a go. You're only going to make a mistake. Second thing, try to get some technical help out there. You know, if you're not sure, somebody will be sure, so you can really get it going. Maybe third thing, watch out for your music, watch out for your rights. All of that's a bit of a minefield, so you're still going to have to find your way through it. As Lucy said in her video, she's really happy for you to get in touch, especially through at Rubicon. There's even a wealth of experience there that you can get in touch with. That leaves me last of all to say, I am aiming, please, to get to 150 subscribers with this last sixth film, I should say. So if you could please do me a favour, push it around, just say to your mum, like, you know, will you also follow this man? I think it's going to be brilliant. That would be brilliant. If you've really enjoyed the film, comment below. If you have liked it, give it a thumbs up for me. I am sweltering. I am now going to get into a very cold shower and have a little lie down in a dark room. And that is episode 6. Over and out. I am going to say this, everybody dancing every day. Have you danced today? If not, why not? Thanks very much. Goodbye. Tom Hobden, over and out.